Right, so now we're going to illustrate texture. We're going to use pencil to do this. You can use a combination of pen and pencil if you want to, and we are going to draw a different texture in each letter. So just to start off with, in the T, I'm going to draw a fur effect. So you want lots of different weight lines to make something look like a fur effect. And all of those furs can go in different directions. So we want some light lines and we want some heavy lines. And again, not all fur goes in the same direction. So if we want some little chunks to stand out, we're just going to apply a darker tone to make it stand out. There we go. So the next texture that we're going to explore, you can do your own textures in each section if you want to. It is quite hard to pick that up on the camera. So the next texture that I'm going to have a little look at is going to be bricks. So I'm just rounding them off at the edge and making sure that there's a little dark space between them to show where the cement would go. So the pattern with bricks is that where two bricks meet, below there will be a brick sat below, just like that, and that's the pattern for the bricks. So and we can just shade the corners in a little bit. And there we go, a nice brick effect. Right, the next one that I'm going to do is going to be a wood grain effect. So we want to use different line weights for this. We want some lines to be nice and thick, and then others to be nice and soft. And with a wood grain, we tend to see these sort of knots in the wood, and it starts from a little shape just like that, and then it mirrors, and it gets heavier, and that's sort of how wood grains work. So different weight lines. So the next effect that I'm going to have a little go at is I'm going to do some pebbles. And again, you can do your own texture should you want to, or you can use mine for a little bit of support. So pebbles come in all different shapes and sizes. And it's a bit like doing this one's going to be a little bit like doing the brick effect one. So, like I said, we want to try and make sure that they are different sizes. There we go. And just making sure that the gaps in between each of the pebbles is nice and dark to create a nice shadow and to make the pebbles stand out. When I've added a little bit of shading to the pebbles, I've curved my shading. So there we go, we've got 4 different textures so far. We've got fur, bricks, wood and pebbles. The next one that I'm going to do is going to be a ripple effect. For example, a splash in water. So I'm going to start off with a dark line and then I'm going to surround that with lots of little light lines, and then another ripple is going to pick up, which will be darker than the other lines, with some little light lines around it. Dark line with some little light ones, just like that. And we have a watery ripple effect. So the next one that I'm going to try is going to be like a grainy sand. So I'm going to do lots of little dots. I'm going to do some that are heavy. And then some that are really nice and light. So this is a grainy texture. And then the very last one, I'm going to try and do some fish scales. So fish scales, very similar to the bricks in that in between where 2 scales meet, we'll have a full one underneath it. And that's the pattern. Just like that, and then I'm going to give a little bit of shading to them. There we go. And then just to finish off this whole effect, we are going to just add a nice black outline, just like we have on previous ones. If your pencil's not very sharp, give it a good sharpen, and that way you'll get a nice, precise and controlled outline.